What's up? It's your Chic Mortgage Millennial coming to you with a video today. I was recording a video on my camera, but we'll just see how this works. I just got the iPhone 12 Pro, so y'all better, all that money it costs, it better be pretty good. Gotta charge my camera. But as I always say, if I am getting dressed to do something, I'm like, what type of video could I come and talk to you all about? Today, I want to talk to you all about agents. Yay. Agents. I want to talk about the listing agents primarily because y'all be tripping. There's this thing, I mean, it didn't used to be so bad, I promise. Like, ever since the pandemic, we've seen different trends, different traits, and I'm just like, I don't like this about y'all. And listing agents, they have no business, no right to ask about buyer information. Like, when it comes to the transaction, the listing agent, they represent the seller, and then the buyer's agent, of course, they represent the buyer. And in the transaction, the loan officer, we represent the buyer, right? So we're dealing with a lot of confidential information. We're dealing with their whole life. Like, we have your credit, we have your income. We know what your mama did yesterday and what your mama's gonna do tomorrow. Not really, but you know, you all open up to us and we do a lot to try to get your loan to close. So when it comes to updates, typically the buyer's agent, they're gonna be more so concerned about, like, you know, how are things looking? Are we gonna close on time? Is there a clear to close? Now those updates, you know, I'm used to those. Like, you know, good morning, just wanted to see where the status is. And sometimes you'll start getting them really often and you're just like, you know, you kind of want to set expectations, like whether it's like, okay, I'll give you weekly updates, or I'll give you updates every time there's a different milestone, or we have different, you know, systems. A lot of lenders have systems in place where the agents will automatically get messages like when there's a conditional approval, or, you know, with appraisals, your appraisal report is back, you know, just those little things that kind of keep them in the loop. And then we all know that as closing dates get a little bit closer, then it's just something in us. It depends on the agent, because some agents, they're chill. Like, they'll be like, okay, I understand how this goes, you know, but some, they're just like 10 days prior to closing, they're like, are we clear to close? No. Are things on track? Yeah. So, you know, those updates are pretty much normal, standard, typical. With some agents, you can reach out to them and say, hey, just wanted to let you know your buyer, they haven't given us the documents that we need. So if you can kind of help us, kind of give them a little push, follow up with them. And a lot of them will be like, oh yeah, sure. Or sometimes, like, if you know, you have a buyer and they're just kind of protesting and they're like, look, I'm not giving y'all nothing else, or I just don't understand, I don't think I could do this anymore, It's like, typically I try to manage those stresses, and, you know, my agents be chilling for the most part. But, you know, sometimes you will want to involve an agent and be like, you know, just giving you a heads up, this is how your buyer's feeling. So I've talked to them about the situation. I've talked to them about what they need. And, you know, I kind of let them know if I feel like this is a major red flag, or is it just like something we just need to get over? Because you'll know, is this a fire or is it not a fire? And you can just be transparent. But sometimes you have agents that are panicky, and then the moment you tell them bad news, well, it's not even bad news, it's just news. But the moment you kind of tell them something or they hear something, they just call you freaking out like, oh my gosh, are we still closing? Is this and this? The contract says this, that this and this and this. And you're just like, bruh. I wanted to come to you all to talk about these listing agents. They have just been off of the chain. I don't have it written down, so I'm just gonna go over certain instances that I feel is kind of weird when it comes to listing agents, and that needs to stop, because it just needs to stop. With these pre-approvals, let's start there, and then let's just gradually progress, right? Pre-approvals. I've had listing agents, of course, they're getting multiple offers, they're getting, you know, all of these different lenders, probably logos, and they're just like, I have no idea how to choose or inform my buyer as to which offer they should go to. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna call and I'm going to, ask questions about the pre-approval, which we represent the buyer and we can't give you their confidential information. So I've had some that have called and said, hey, how are you doing? I'm calling because I received an offer and I just wanted to call to try to see, is this a solid pre-approval? Like, did you get their docs? Oh, my pre-approval solid. But anyway, it's just like, okay, yes, we've collected their documents. We've given them a pre-approval, but it's like, what are you really trying to get out of this call, And I feel like there can be some type of discrimination when it comes to doing that because, yeah, sometimes I get those calls and I still get the contracts. But I'm just like, what if I answer the phone and you try to see, okay, does she sound black? Do I like how the lender sounds? Like, what are you really trying to fish for? Because at the end of the day, pre-approval is stating that based on documentation provided, assets, credit, income, this person, can get this loan. But then the loan has to go through underwriting. And sometimes there are different things that come through or that's revealed during the underwriting process. And it's like, that could happen regardless. You know what I'm saying? So trying to get the lender, are you trying to put the lender in a situation where you said it was a solid pre-approval? Like, what do you want? What do you want from us? What are your goals that you're trying to get with these conversations? And I've been getting them a lot. Like, why are you calling me to see? Oh, because, and then I've had one listing agent who called me, had a conversation, let her know, yeah, it's a solid pre-approval, da-da-da-da-da-da. And she's like, well, thank you so much. Do you think you can talk to the seller because he's just a little cautious and, he's used to working with banks and I've tried to tell him that lenders are who people are using nowadays, but he's just really old fashioned. So can you talk to him? And I'm thinking to myself, what? This is dumb. Why? It's not the lender's job to convince the seller or the seller's agent, listing agent, to make a decision when it comes to purchasing a house. This was a unique situation. So I was like, sure. Talk to the guy. The guy's talking to me for almost like an hour, and he's like, okay, well, if it falls through, then I'm going to come see you. And then he was like, but I know that if you come to closing, you're going to get on me, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, sir, because I guess, I understand their concern. He said that he's had other properties that he's sold and, the loan falls apart. And he's like, I just don't understand why the loans fall apart. And I'm just like, well, the intention with licensed professionals, you do want to make sure that you're working with a lender that you can trust. So that way, that they're doing a thorough evaluation. Like, why am I explaining this? But whatever. That's one thing that I just find so crazy about these, whatever you call them. Another thing, sellers reaching out as far as for updates on where we are in the transaction. Now that is sellers or listing agents. That's not normal. Like, I understand different milestones or things are, but I literally have some sellers agents who are reaching out to me almost every day. I'm like, I gave you an update yesterday. Can you speak to the buyer's agent? Daily updates. Imagine our phone blows up with updates from the buyer, updates from the buyer's agent. And now you're adding a listing agent. Y'all are all asking the same thing. Are we clear to close? Is there anything else that I need? It's the same song over and over. So if it takes 30 to 40 days for a typical mortgage transaction, if y'all trying to hit me up every day, if you all are trying to hit me up every day, no, bruh. Nah, bruh. I just think that is just crazy, getting out of hand. Stop it. Stop asking for daily updates. I have a situation right now. I gave him an update yesterday. First of all, I gave this is a seller's agent. They wanted to extend the financial contingency, which that might sound like Chinese, but if you know, you know, because there were some, things. So did that and gave an update. Friday or Thursday. I'll give him grace and say Thursday. Reaches out for an update on Monday. Reaches out for an update on Tuesday. We're still kind of in the beginning. Like, I'm not going to be talking to you every day, sir. And he'll be asking, like, confidential information. Like, okay, so is the co-borrower, is that a family member or is it like somebody? That's not your business. That's not your business. So do you think, are they off, or are they really, really off? It's like, sir, we're waiting on additional items from the buyer. We'll keep you updated if things are on track. Like, you cannot be giving information. And I don't know if it's because, I'm sure he's new, because only new people do that. Well, how he's acting is new. And he's probably not busy, because why are you reaching out to me every day for an update? Where's your pipeline? Let things just chill. Like, some things, give it 7 to 10 days. Like, if you're in the beginning, transaction is 30 to 40 days. Things don't change daily. And there are some, literally, things don't change daily, all right? That's one thing. Like, sellers, and on every email that I say, I'm CCing your buyer's agent. Please communicate with them for additional updates, regarding whatever. Like, we're not even at a point where there's extensions needed or, none of that stuff is being discussed. But it's like, you just keep on, you're wanting daily updates, and I'm not understanding. Another situation. Listing agent. So I had listing agents who I just don't like dealing with builders, but got to get them here and there, right? Or whenever there's any repairs. I think I've talked about this on another video a little bit, but it just keeps happening. So whenever there are repairs needed, whether it's due to an appraisal, due to a new build, or if there's a second reinspection required, which means that you have to, or the seller, builder, whoever, they have to complete additional items that has to be reinspected by the appraiser. If you drag your feet on these repairs, or allowing the appraiser to come out to reinspect the property, or if the appraiser comes back and they're still not satisfied and they're like, okay, we need to come back to reinspect the property, 9 times out of 9, if you drag your feet, just because you finished does not mean you can close tomorrow. You cannot say, okay, we're done, everything's back on track. I was looking for a magic wand. But I could not find one. When I find my magic wand to, be able to accommodate you all with certain delays caused by appraisals, builders, sellers, buyers. But one thing I can say, 9 times out of 10, the delays are not due to the buyer. When appraisals come in low and you all take 2 weeks to negotiate who's going to drop the price, who's going to do this, who's going to do that, it's going to cause a delay. Like, when you delay, certain things cannot be done until we know what you're going to do. If we don't know the price, if we don't know certain items, like, we can't just pick up where we left off and now you'll close in 2 days. That's just not how it works. It's not how it works. So there are certain timelines that I provide depending on the situation, but it's just whenever sellers or listing agents, they try, well, let me call them, because I just don't understand what the holdup. It's like, sir, you waited 20 years to finish the things for the appraisal reinspection. Delay. Not magicians. I don't know. I mean, if I wrote down what my thoughts were, I probably would be able to give you a lot more, but I have to go to a closing. So I know I wanted to do a quick video, and I'm just like, that was on my heart. It was on my heart to share with you all. These listing agents, there needs to be, I feel like there needs to be an etiquette. Maybe I should start an etiquette class for buyers and listing agents in your interaction with loan officers. Because you know what? I answer my phone, and even if it's bad, even if it's good, the only time is like when I tell you I don't work after hours and you continue to message me at 10 p.m., I'm going to message you back in the morning. Sometimes I might slip up if it's a late message and I'll be like, I don't work this late, but let me check, depending on how I feel. But I can't really do that with everybody because you give them an inch, they'll take a mile. So I try to, work within reasonable business hours because I feel like it's disrespectful for me to respond to you after business hours. Even if you message me late, you could always message me late and, I'll just be like, they probably just wanted to get that off their heart, get that off their chest. And then I'll just respond to you within reasonable hours, right? To protect your peace, because I'm trying to protect your peace, right? Because there are so many new people flooding the industry, and it's like you don't want to make assumptions that just because somebody does something, they're new, because I can't tell you how many times I hear from different agents, I've been in this industry for 32 years and I ain't never heard of this. And I'm like, really? What you been doing for 32 years? Because this isn't new. But you deal with it on both sides. But I think with just such a wide variety or a wide mix of people, like calling the lenders, thinking that we can give you information. Now that one, it's just picked up a lot since the pandemic. And I know we want to make sure that we have these solid buyers because there are so many different situations going on with people's jobs, flexibleness, but somebody can lose their job in the middle of a loan process. And you can't really say, well, y'all said it was a clear pre-approval. People open up new loans during the middle of the process. If that impacts their DTI and they no longer qualify or they can't, pay those items down to get back on track, loan could fall apart. Like there are several, maybe I should do a video on that. There are several different reasons why loans fall apart. And even though I made my little 10 commandments of mortgage buying video, people don't watch that video. I want y'all to watch that video. But, certain videos get more views than others. And it's like, there are things that you can and cannot do when you're getting a mortgage, or it can throw your loan off track. So having interrogating conversations with the lender prior to you accepting their offer, that is so pointless to me. And people lie. I don't trust my buyers before I get their docs. It's like, oh yeah, I make $10,000 a month. Oh, let me see those docs. Like, I don't trust y'all. I love y'all, but I don't trust y'all. So show me the receipts. Outside of us giving you that pre-approval letter, we really can't give you much. We can't be like, oh yeah, they have this, they have this, they have that. They're a great candidate. Like, this isn't a job interview. Let the transaction happen. Let the mortgage process happen. Trust the process. Trust the process. You are not going to get updates every day. Look for updates once a week. You'll probably get them more than that, but once a week communication is really good. Somebody has a system in place and they're like, hey, you'll get updates from me every Tuesday. Or updates every milestone. Hey, your loan has been conditionally approved. Hey, your appraisal has been ordered. Hey, your appraisal is in. Hey, your loan has been submitted to the underwriter. Hey, milestones. The dumbest question to me when we're waiting on something, one of the dumbest questions. Well, no, they say there's no stupid question, but this is a dumb question. So if we know that we're waiting on an update, like meaning I've communicated to you that we are waiting on an update, asking, is there an update? Everyone's goal is to close the loan. By my Lord, if there is an update, don't you think I would love to let somebody know who especially is messaging me constantly throughout the day, morning, noon, night. And I know you want to update. I know you want to update. If anybody wants to update, you want one. The daily, is there an update as we get closer to closing? I promise you. There will never be, probably when I get clear to close emails to my phone, I don't even have to be at my desk. When I get them, it comes to my phone. I'm gonna be like, Can't wait to tell this person this. You are clear to close. So I promise you, no lender on earth is going to look past a clear to close email and say, you know what? I'll send that to them next week. You know what? I'll send that to them in 2 days, 3 days. You're going to get that clear to close email. So if you're waiting on clear to close, just know. You might not get the appraisal email back ASAP. You'll get it pretty soon, because that's good news too. House came in at value as is. That's good news. No repairs. That's good news, right? So we'll give that to you. You might get it by close of business, right? But one thing you gonna get pretty soon, almost immediately. If there was an immediate button, like a clear to close, boom, you're gonna get that clear to close email, because that's what everyone is looking for. I promise you do not have to ask that question. But anyway, this video got long. I wanted it to be a short video and I gotta run. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, feel free to let me know. Follow me on Instagram, support on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. If you're interested in mortgage pre-approval, please let me know. And this is your Chic Mortgage Millennial out. Y'all have a good day.